right now?
Right now, no, because I feel like there's too many variables out there that we don't know.
No? Christie?
No.
No? Steve?
No.
Okay.
4-1,
Can
let us stop
I don't-
talking about the utility fund balance, the electric utility fund balance.
Can I just ask everyone to
No.
thumb through their manuals here and see the other utility fund balances? They're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in the $3 million category.
Well, when we get a,
Go back for rate decreases, in my opinion, at the time we get ready to talk about that. It shouldn't
which
go.
isn't right now.
Right.
So, Christie is suggesting that making it a year-to-year decision to lower the mill rate. So, what we're getting is 1.76 or 1.6 whatever 235,000 looks for next year and intervening years. But I don't think that we want to do that without having a work session on it first, because when those numbers come back, we might not like those numbers.
So you.
Sure.
Pete, tell me I'm exactly right again. Please.
I don't know if anybody's been exactly right for a while now, so I'm ready to throw that out.
I'm cool, I want to see the numbers. Let's see the numbers.
But she still, what number do?
Yeah, we already know the numbers.
No, we don't, no.
Actually, what I'm saying is if 2 mills gets us $272,000, how much does $235,000 con?
So that I could calculate. So
Okay.
you want these projects taken out?
Yes.
And a mill reduction so that you return money to your citizens of an equivalent amount.
Yes.
Yes.
correct.
What do I do in 16, 17, 18, 19?
Let's maintain it.
So
Maintain
maintain
that
it, you're
same
gonna
mill
change that
reduction.
same reduction.
Okay.
The way that they want to see the
But
numbers
that's-
is that they want to maintain that mill and how that changes every single.
That's why we have to have a, that's why we have to have a work session.
Have we ever,
Because.
We've
because
never done this, so see, this is the problem.
I am not going to be responsible for being the one to decide how those $235,000 in year 16, 17, 18, 19 comes off. Those are sustained decreases.
They won't come off from any number in the outlying years. They
Right.
don't relate to anything else.
No, I mean,
any longer.
basically what you have to do is say, we're going to find it somewhere else.
and you've got $3 million. I mean, you don't have to say, yes, we're
We
gonna
already
take that
said
million.
nobody-
You just have to say,
we're not
it's
talking
in
about
reserve,
that now.
it's in reserve, and we could use it if we have to, if we can't find
Councilman,
$235,000.
Councilman, I'm gonna ask you one last time, please. Refrain from getting off on that subject. You are 4-1 on the city council and 5-1 on the governing body to stop pursuing that line. You are on an island.
Okay, fine, then let's
Leave
take
it
out.
alone.
Take it out of the $230,000 worth of employee cost of living adjustments and bonuses. That's a possibility, right? I mean, we need a little creativity here, Chris. If you've got another place where you can find the money, then I'm all ears.
You know, we were
All I
following
know is
a,
we cut $235,000 out of the budget, and it's never been done before. That's why we're having all this consternation, is no one's ever done the math backwards and said, how do we account for a refund of a mill levy?
we stopped following the process that we followed all of last year and all of this year up until the very last meeting, and we changed it on its ear this evening because of spreadsheets that I can't read and graphs that I don't understand, and you and some of the other folks on the governing body that don't like some of the projects.
Well, apparently the priorities have changed.
Yes, well, and they've changed suddenly.
They have, and it's unfortunate that we
Hey,
waited till the
hey,
last
you-
minute to make the changes, but that's what I've been warning against for a year now, over a year. So,
You know,
we got our backs against the wall because you decided not to go back to the old policy and get these updates on a continual basis throughout the summer. So this is what we have. These were all your decisions.
But everything we cut tonight, we've had updates on since April.
Right.
Everything you cut line item by line item, absolutely, you've had all that information before you.
Then,
And
Yeah.
you waited, and you had this at the last meeting.
well, then why
that
did
we didn't
everyone
talk about
change
it
their
then.
minds? I mean, they only got the book,
I'm not
they got
sure.
this book 2 weeks ago. We
I have
finally
my
read the book.
concerns about
There's not
it.
even prices in here. I mean, seriously.
You're not
I
happy,
don't
we
know
get
how
it.
hard it is for you to look at this and send an email out. Actually, if I wanted to know that, if I couldn't recall from my notes from previous meetings, I could have said, Cheryl,
There is
I
a-
need to get the expense item here, could you please share that with me? From
But
my
you don't do
experience
that.
I have
with
to
this,
ask for that? Seriously?
if you can't recall it, because it's
No
not
one
a
can
financial
recall
number.
it. No one can recall one number.
Yeah, you're
I
wrong.
was
Yeah.
recalling numbers.
You're absolutely
So,
wrong.
it's just.
Sometimes I was right, but
It's a
sometimes I was
two-way
wrong.
street on the effort side of things, and you show up here and then,
Yeah, listen, I don't know how much effort you put into this,
I've read
other
that
than
entire
coming to
book.
council meetings.
No, I read the entire book. And I could
I-
not find the
I
hidden
defy you to pass
amount
the
in
test
here,
on
and
it.
I defy you to tell me where
I
it's
don't,
at.
I don't understand how discussion of a reduction of even 1.75 mils out of a city mill levy of 31.133 can be this gut-wrenching. I
think it's
do not
short-sightedness on
understand
everything that it
this.
affects. It's short-sightedness to just have a simple result that shows well in a headline.
It is
But
not.
when you look at it from a planning perspective,
It
it's
is-
not as simple cut and change.
And if-
as you
Oh,
like
I
it.
understand that.
And if you wanna know another reason, it's because, you know, when I went back to Laura and Mike Press and asked them
Mm-hmm.
to see if they could find more revenue, I did that in May. I didn't do it in the last meeting before the budget was supposed to
I
get
didn't
voted
have
on.
numbers until then.
That's
Actually, listen, you could've, I've been looking at budget books since before I got elected to city council.
Uh-huh.
I knew what the revenue projections looked like. I knew to ask before we got
The
to
estimates?
that point.
The first of
We
June,
didn't
I
get the
asked
estimate.
Laura, the
I mean,
bottom
what
line,
we
is
could
there
do.
going to be a mill increase? Laura's answer was no, the mill increase will remain the same, and we'll have.
And
them
that's
do
all
that.
you care about. You don't care about the money, how it's spent. You just care about the mill levy.
Actually, the 5-to-1 people said,
And
this
they
is the way
changed
we
their
like.
mind. 4-to-1, they changed their
tonight.
mind.
They changed
They
it.
changed
So
it.
what?
They didn't
So
change it.
what?
Let
Is
me-
there a deadline about which time we can't change our mind?
Actually, statutorily,
Here's
it
what-
kind of is.
No,
here's what
and
it
that's why
takes-
you should have done this earlier.
I wish I could have a
did.
chance to
I did
respond.
everything I intended to do.
You got the book 2 weeks ago when I got the book.
I wish I could respond to Councilman Freeman's question about the reason why it took me so long to get worked up about this. I didn't get the mid-year financial, forecast, so the mid-year financial estimates, until the last week in June, the first week in July. That's when I started doing my analysis of the numbers. I didn't have numbers to analyze until then. When I saw that revenues were coming in way above projections and expenses were actually below last year's initial projections and budget, that's when I started to ask questions and figure out whether or not there was room to lower the mill levy. And when I did the number crunching on my own, I realized, yes, there was room to do a mill levy reduction.
And let me help you with that. I believe that by statute, we're supposed to get monthly reports of expenditures and revenues.
You started out that requirement.
Oh, well, again,
And
then perhaps it's time to,
report. And you get
Hmm.
anything you want. I
when did
think.
we charter out of that? We as a council.
When
did
you
that.
went to a
We-
second-class
yes.
city,
2002.
whatever that was.
Well, then it's time to change that rule.
Actually, we went to a second-class city long
Okay, well,
before 2002.
Yeah.
In 2002, we basically voted to remain a second-class city. No?
No.
Talk to me.
2002, we went
Well-
to the city of the second class.
We were a city of the third class until we had over 9,000 residents. So we weren't, that's outside of state statute,
that's surprising.
state guidelines, right? Yeah, I know, nobody probably knows them, I've seen them before, but that I can't quote off the top of my head.
Is there a motion do we have to have a motion to table
Well,
on
actually,
this agenda item?
should we get consensus on what we're gonna tell Laura?
Mm-hmm. I thought we did.
Well, I don't know that we did.
I don't know that we did.
So, my perspective is this, there were things in this budget that I did not agree with spending money on. And
Mhm.
whether people think this is last minute or not, it wasn't. I've been having conversations regarding this for
Mhm.
3 weeks. So, From my perspective though, my intent on that is not necessarily